Hello and welcome to the FPL Fan Show. Football is back. This is the show for the fans of Fantasy Premier League.
And as ever, we're going to bring you the hot topics, previewing upcoming games and answering all the questions that you want answered. Let's roll the intro.
We have just hit 1,500 subscribers on YouTube. Buzzing,
mate.
Thank you to everyone who's already subscribed.
Yeah, we really do appreciate it. And if you want to become a fan of the show, be sure to smash that subscribe button.
Right, let's discuss the hot topics for Gameweek 2. Callum, we've got some tasty hot topics this week, mate.
Right.
Oof.
It's looking good. I'm
Does it
absolutely
good?
starving.
I'm
Should we roll
starving
on?
too. Go on.
First course.
Gonna pick one out.
Oh, mate. Jesus Christ. All right. First hot topic. You ready for this one?
Go on.
Hat-trick hero Mohamed Salah.
Oof.
No,
He was on fire.
He was on fire.
At
He
the weekend,
rightly
wasn't he?
deserves to be the first hot topic
He
of the
does.
day. So, what we got to talk about him, mate?
Okay, so Salah, there was quite a big debate, wasn't there, going into the season about his pre-season form, and there's Manny as well. I mean, okay, let's first get it right. He did have 2 penalties,
Yeah.
but that's what you get with Mo Salah. He's
Yeah.
on penalties, so what's wrong with that? I thought he looked so sharp during the game.
Yeah,
didn't he?
yeah.
I mean, he took the other goal well as well, I thought. And I think a lot of people, I mean, you were actually considering doing Salah to Fernandes in game week 2.
Yeah, this is the big one.
Yeah.
I think everybody's kind of worried about is the pre-planned. A lot of people have pre-planned. You know, Salah was the placeholder for Man United, or Aubameyang a placeholder for Man
Is that
City.
Oh, God.
Is it burning, mate? Fucking
I think
hell.
it's all right.
Yeah.
Just check.
It adds to
Yeah,
the,
no,
adds to the
that's all
scene,
right.
mate.
Keep
Don't
going.
worry.
Oh, smells as well. Just get going.
Keep going, mate. Right, wait. So, just ignore this bit. As we mentioned, with Salah, he was a placeholder for players, and he's done the one thing that has put doubt in people's minds, and that's a hat-trick against a lead side who a lot of people are talking about going to be defensively solid this year.
Yeah.
So putting 3 goals against them, as you mentioned, penalties, is going to kind of overlay some of the underlying stats there. But yeah, it's a really tricky one with Salah. I think if you do have that pre-planned move, you've got to be brave, you've got to stick with it. I think there's a reason why you had that plan in place.
I disagree. I don't think you can get rid of Salah in that form.
With Chelsea coming up?
No, I don't. I think he's just so good. I think you've just got to have him, keep him in the whole season. You know exactly what you're getting with him. So I would stick with Salah, and I will be, personally.
You're going to be sticking with it? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Right, mate. I hope you're hungry.
I am.
Right, let's pick another hot topic then, buddy. Got him?
Everton.
Why are they always in every week? Now, to be fair, they do justify the section, mate. So I'm going to let you start with this one.
This is something I'm very happy to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, obviously I am an Everton fan, but I was so impressed with Everton at the weekend. I mean, those signings have just completely transformed the team.
I can't believe they haven't played with each other yet. Yeah, they were unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I just thought they look a completely different beast this year. They look like a top 6 side. I think they played Tottenham. I mean, Tottenham did have some chances, don't get me wrong. Pickford made some good saves, but Everton were the better side overall.
Yeah.
Allen makes a massive difference to the defence.
He's that Idrissa Gueye that
He
you
is.
needed for a year. And he's solid, isn't he?
He is
You don't
solid.
play in a team like Napoli,
Yeah.
and not be a good player. And he looks exactly what you need in that team.
Exactly. I've had a lot of questions actually from people asking about, who is the best Everton asset to go for. And obviously now they have a really good fixture run. I think West Brom next at home is, I mean, you can't get better than that, can you?
Good, yeah.
So if I just break them down, I think the one that's going under the radar the most was 2 actually. The first one's Luca Dean. My man.
Yeah, he is the guy, isn't he? He is the guy. We wrote him off at the start, didn't we? Remember?
Well, you might write him off. I didn't write him off.
Yeah, I'd fight for that one.
But now he looks a really good option again. I think the dilemma going into this game was people were unsure whether James Rodriguez would take all the set pieces. But actually, interestingly, Luca Dean had the corners on the left and the free kicks on the left as well. And that free kick on the left to Calvert-Lewin, wow, phenomenal cross, really impressive. And I think Allen makes all the difference to Luca Dean. I think Everton will keep a lot more clean sheets this year. So if you're looking for a 6 million defender, I think Luca Dean is a really good option now.
He could be the replacement for Doherty, could he almost, really?
Definitely.
A few people have got their doubts over Doherty, so
Absolutely.
that 6 million bracket could go to him for sure.
Exactly. The next one, James Rodriguez.
Mate, he looked different gravy, wasn't he?
He did. I mean, I have to be honest, I did have my doubts because you never know how these players are going to adapt, but he just looked a class above every player on the pitch.
He put about 3 crossfield balls in the first 10 minutes, didn't he?
He was unbelievable. It kind of reminded me of when Fernandes moved to United and just having that player that can play those balls that no one else can. I think Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison are going to love him.
Yep.
They're going to get so many chances each game. So Rodriguez looks really good. And he had a few shots. I think he'll be on free kicks. He might even get penalties as well. So 7.5 million, decent option.
I want to see definitely if he's going to be that guy who assists the assister or whether he's going to be that creative sparking team. So I'm looking forward to seeing him definitely over the weeks.
I think my only slight worry with him is he does have a bit of a worrying injury record. So kind of, pay attention to that. But if we move on to the other assets, Calvert-Lewin, I've been talking about him all in pre-season. If you've been watching the FPL fan show, you would have known he was a good pick, and boy did he come through.
I'll give it to you, mate. Yeah,
he took that header well, and 7 million. I think he's probably the best value player in the game this year.
You mentioned him. You think he's going to be this season's Danny Ings almost with that price value, and I can't really deny that right now. One game's difficult to judge straight away, but if that midfield clicks, and 7 million, that's a steal. Absolute steal.
Yeah. And just finally, Richarlison. Now, I think Richarlison is a really, really good pick. He is shooting so much.
Yeah.
I mean, he very easily could have scored, and he should have scored on the weekend. I think 8 million is still pretty good value. So if you're looking for a kind of differential, I think Richarlison's a good bet. But Everton as a whole, definitely worth buying right now. I think those hot topics getting a little cold, mate. Pick the last one,
mate. Let's get the last one in then. Yeah, it's getting cold. But right, last hot topic. This pains me. Willian. Now, obviously, being a Chelsea fan, that is a sore subject right now after seeing that performance on the weekend. So, let's talk about Willian. I think the main discussion right now is 8 million on FPL. A lot of people wrote him off as an FPL asset just because of his price bracket, really. He was a bit too expensive for a player that we expect is going to get rotated, but that first game, he's just picked up where he left off at Chelsea. And in that side, it really does suit him, the way they play with the three assists, set pieces. That was a tough watch, but for Arsenal fans, you should be very happy with Willian this season because he's going to do very well. But
I was impressed. I have to admit, I didn't think Willian would be a very good FPL option.
No.
I honestly didn't, but I've completely changed my mind.
Yeah.
He's on basically every set piece. I mean, we're not sure. I think Aubameyang will probably still get penalties, but he was on every set piece. He was playing so high up. He looks like the player they've been missing.
He's so aggressive in the press, and Arteta is looking for that style. And he at Chelsea worked so hard, got a bad name for himself for some reason, but he was always such a hard worker in the team.
Do you know why I think he's a much better option? It's because I don't think he's going to be rotated as much at Arsenal.
Right.
I think he's much more of a key player for Arsenal. Whereas at Chelsea, you had so many midfielders. I just think he was too much of a risky pick.
Yeah.
And he's 8 million now, isn't he? I think that's a pretty good price. Yeah. And with West Ham up next,
it looks good. I think a lot of talk has been whether he can cover Aubameyang at 12 million. So 4 million is a massive gap, isn't it? And I would say there is an argument in some way that Willian could cover Aubameyang, but the way I do look at it is Aubameyang is just a clinical finisher, isn't he? And 4 million is tough to justify paying that additional for Aubameyang, but I think over the course of the season, we know Aubameyang is pretty much rotation-proof, talisman in that team, penalties as we spoke about, and as I spoke about Willian, such a good player, but he's not in the same even stratosphere as Aubameyang when it comes to finishing, and I think you over the course of the season should pay that extra bit of money for Aubameyang.
He's more trustworthy.
Yeah, but I do think Willian is a wise differential pick if you're looking for an option in there for sure.
Yeah. So that's the hot topics of the week covered. Next, it's Stat of the Week.
Back off, Start of the Week.
Big news, Callum. Bakar has signed another season with the FPL Fan Show.
The big man. Oh, and hang on, that could be the big man right now.
He's back.
Bakar.
Oh,
the big man is back with Stat of the Week. Ready for this one, mate? Because you're going to like this one especially.
Am I?
Right. 5 chances created by James Rodriguez. He was the highest among all players to have played this game week. Calvert-Lewin scored, but interestingly, Richarlison outnumbered him for shots inside the box. So 5 for Richarlison, 2 for Calvert-Lewin. Penalty area touches, 9 for Richarlison, 2 for Calvert-Lewin. And big chances, 2 for Richarlison, 0 for Calvert-Lewin. One worth keeping an eye on.
Okay, so
Thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I won't bore people because obviously we spoke about Everton before. But I think the interesting point here is that there'll be a lot of people who'll be looking to bring a striker in, and they're probably thinking Richarlison or Calvert-Lewin. And actually, I think the answer is that both are good options. I think Calvert-Lewin is the value pick. 7 million, definitely underpriced. He'll score well this season. But I think if you're looking for a differential, I think Richarlison is a brilliant pick. I guarantee you he will score at least 15 goals this season. He shoots a lot. He wants to score. He's a bit like Salah in that sense. So
stats show that.
Yeah, I think both are really good picks.
Yeah, no, I agree that. I think he could be a long-term option. So thank you very much, Bakar. Be sure to follow him if you haven't. Provide some awesome stuff. And also brought out a new YouTube called The Wire, I believe. So good. Really good. So be sure to check that out.
Next up, it's time for Social Media Star.
Social Media Star.
This week's Social Media Star is Fantasy Football Community, which is run by the lovely Holly. So Holly provides some great advice to everybody in the FPL community. And what she does great is she puts together all of the FPL advice throughout the week, puts into a great blog post where you can just basically find yourself reading some great information. So great work there, Holly. Deservedly Social Media Star this week.
Puts out some very good tips. Yeah. And I think this week she tipped Salah for captain, so she knew better than us.
So, yeah, she's done well there. Big points. Yeah.
But yeah, she's this week's Social Media Star. Next up, it's time to have a look at your questions.
So this is the part of the show where we answer your questions. Thank you to everyone who's already asked them. Make sure to keep them coming on Twitter. Right, Conor, what's the first question, mate?
Okay, first question is from FPL TAA. Greenwood or Foden a good option for Game Week 2?
Yeah, two controversial people right now, obviously after the England shenanigans, wasn't it? So boys. They're both really good options. So I'm going to be saying Greenwood 7.5 million, Foden 6.5 million if I'm right. So yeah, two good picks. I think long term, I really like the FPL scene of Foden.
100%.
You agree?
I'm not sure Greenwood is a good pick right now because I think there's so much uncertainty with Sancho. If they get Sancho, Greenwood's just not an option. Obviously, if they don't get Sancho, Greenwood is an option. Foden is the one I've really got my eye on. Yep. I think in Game Week 3 or Game Week 4, probably trying to get him in. I just got a really good feeling about him this year. I think with Silva gone, I think it's 6.5 million for a Man City midfielder. Yes, we know he's going to miss some games, but I think he could be a really good underpriced option this year. So Foden would be the one I'd be looking at.
I agree. I think he's a solid pick for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so have a look at another question.
What's this, mate?
Do you want to read that one out?
Yeah. So from Andrew Ord, do we keep Ings or get rid of him? So obviously blank first game week and high expectations for him, mate. You avoided him, went for Calvert-Lewin, didn't you?
It was close.
Yeah,
it was.
What are your thoughts now on reflection?
I mean, the thing with Ings, you do know what you get. I think he's probably still going to score 20 goals over the season. Southampton got some reasonable fixtures. I wouldn't be panicking, that's for sure. I think if you have a kind of transfer free this week and you're like, well, not sure what to do, I think Ings to Calvert-Lewin or Richarlison isn't the worst move. If you're willing to get a bit more money in the bank, but I don't think I'd panic on Ings.
Yeah, I agree. I think we have to remember last season wasn't that far away, was it? He was decent after lockdown. Still a great pick. I just think Southampton had a bad bit of this, and he's a good option going forward. Wait to see if consistently he performs. I think really, for sure.
Okay, so Casper Donau, I think that's
that's right, mate. Apologies if it's wrong.
Sorry, Casper is wrong. Which Man United asset to go for?
Right. Okay. Yeah. So obviously this is kind of the game week where a lot of people are looking to pump into Man United assets, really, isn't it? And
I am.
I think I am as well. But the big question is where to go, really. So I think as a camp with Fernandes, there are two camps. You've got the ones who think he's a penalty merchant and he's going to underperform this season in comparison to last year. And you've got the other camp who think top player and he's going to continue with the returns that year. I think you're in the top player section, aren't you? Yeah,
I'm in the Fernandes camp.
Yeah.
Okay, so people are saying, well, he's getting a lot of penalties. It doesn't matter. If he scores points getting penalties, and let's be honest, Man United are still going to get a lot of penalties this season. And also, he's on set pieces, he's a very attacking player. Man United have got great fixtures. And importantly for me, he's a captain option. I would feel quite safe captaining Fernandes. So For me, I think I'll be bringing Fernandes in.
Fernandes, yeah.
Yeah, I think the second best one is probably Martial. I do like him as well. What's your thoughts
Yeah,
on him?
I'm a bit gutted that Martial is now a forward. I do think that his price is now a fair reflection. I still think he's good value, but that midfielder just made him really, really good last season. So I would agree. I think Fernandes is probably just my top pick, and Martial is a really good option, and he could be just playing up two with Werner, and you could keep that, and I think that'd be a good return. I think one that's gone under the radar a little bit is the Man United defence. I think they could do well this year defensively. I think they have some good underlying stats, so looking at it for a cheap option like Shaw, he could be a good punt there for sure.
Yeah.
Get that, Shaw. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, right,
Sound like
right.
you to be funny, isn't it? Okay, so Dom Warren asks, how long to give TA/Robbo double before binning Trent? And the second question is, when are you planning to wildcard? Now seems about right for me.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's in a panic.
Yeah, I think a few people
Right,
are
Dom.
already panicking, aren't they, on that one? Yeah, so I guess first about the question, the double up with the Liverpool defence. I think quite a few people actually avoided that at the start just because they were worried about the two opening fixtures. There was a reason you put them both in. Both brilliant attacking options. I don't think you should let the opening game cloud your judgment there. You put them in for a reason. They are still amazing value, and I think you've got to stick, and we mentioned it before, stick with the plan for a longer term, and then we can reflect further on whether it's a poor choice or not defensively. But I think Liverpool had a bad day at the office.
Yeah, and in terms of the wild card, I mean, I'm trying to keep mine for as long as possible. I think again the key here with fantasy Premier League is just don't panic. You know, it's just one game week. Things can change so quickly. You know, just have a good week and then you're back to normal. So I'm going to try and save the wild card for as long as I can. And yeah, my advice would be just don't panic.
No, I agree.
So that wraps up question time for this week. Thanks to everyone who sent the questions in, and obviously sorry if we couldn't read out your question this week. We'll do our best to do it next week. And now it's time to introduce a new section into the FPL fan show. Okay, so match previews is gone. Now we're going to be bringing you FPL fan favourites, where we have to pick 11 players that we think will do well for this specific game week.
So in this section, we're going to be picking 11 players that we think could perform in this game week. And importantly, we picked it within a budget that is realistic to afford. And more importantly, we could go out and pick 3 Liverpool, 3 Man City, 3 Chelsea, but we want to pick some players that are a little bit under the radar, those that could really help those players who are chasing mini leagues. So this is going to be our 11. We hope it can help you out. So who is our first, obviously, goalkeeper in our team, mate?
Okay, so we've gone a little bit unique, and we're here. We've gone for Meslier, I believe it's pronounced. Leeds'
goalkeeper, yes. Yeah.
So they've got Fulham at home.
Did concede 4, but we think they're going to be better this week, don't we?
I think so. I think they had a pretty good record in the Championships, didn't they? So, and I think Fulham looked really poor their weekend. So I think that's a good keeper choice.
Yeah.
Our first defender, we've gone for Jamal Lewis.
Yeah, new signing. Yes, looked really good. Stats look really solid. Newcastle might be a bit of a different beast this year. They're attacking forwards, so could be offering some assist potential for sure. Yeah. Home to Brighton. Yeah, could be a great pick.
Yeah. For our next defender, we've gone for Tierney from Arsenal. Thought he looked really good at the weekend against Fulham. Got some really nice attacking positions, and importantly, Arsenal looked so much better defensively this year. I think Gabriel at the back looks a really good signing. I just think, West Ham at game, I could see him getting a clean sheet.
Yeah, I think that could be a decent score for Arsenal there for sure. And Tierney looked good forward, didn't he? So a good pick.
Yeah. So who have we gone for next?
Yeah, so other centre back, we've gone for Ayling, so a double up of Leeds. So as we mentioned, we're expecting a bit more from Leeds this week against a pretty lacklustre Fulham side. So yeah, I think Ayling, we mentioned before, 4.5 million. Yeah. I think long term he could be a really, really good pick, and he does have some attacking potential from the Championship that we hope is going to transition to the Premier League for sure. Yeah. And I'm just going to let you talk about this one, mate. How does this happen every week? But yeah, crack on.
It's not every week. I'm delighted to say that for our final defender pick, we've gone for Everton's Luca Dean. But I mean, in all seriousness, West Brom at home. Yeah. I think it looked pretty toothless against Leicester. Dean on some set pieces. I think I could see a clean sheet, maybe some assists in there as well. So I think he's a great pick this season. So Luca Dean.
All jokes aside, he's a solid pick, and he's starting one game in. He's not going to justify that 6 million price yet, but I think long term could be.
Exactly. For our first midfielder, we've gone for De Bruyne. Back now in game week 2.
Excited to see De Bruyne. Obviously, Man City boys missing the first game week. I think De Bruyne's fixture proof really. Wolves are going to be a tough cookie, but I just think De Bruyne is just going to start the season strong.
Yeah.
Awesome pick, long-term hold.
For our next midfielder, we've gone for Aubameyang. I mean, he just looks probably the best captain option, potentially this week as well, but he's just, that West Ham just looks so poor.
Yeah.
So I think Aubameyang, you have to have him for this week.
Yeah, I agree. Really good pick. Yeah. And next pick is one we spoke about already. Is Man United's Fernandes. So you're obviously a big fan of Fernandes, aren't you? Yeah. Home to Crystal Palace. I think Crystal Palace, will put up a stern test against them, but I just think Man United get a bit too much against them, really.
I think they'll be too good.
And a solid voice. Again, captaincy headache. Good pick, but he's a good option for sure.
Okay, so who for our final midfielder have we gone for?
Yeah, one we spoke about before could be a really good differential, and that's Arsenal's Willian. So 8 million. I think he's got real good opportunity against West Ham to clock up some more assists and maybe get his first goal for Arsenal there. Like we said, I think he's a great pick.
I think he's
really good pick,
solid option. I think he'll get at least an assist.
Yeah.
For our first forward, we've gone for Calvert-Lewin. So this was a bit of a toss-up, wasn't it, between Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin? But we've gone for Calvert-Lewin on the value. And who is our final forward pick?
Yeah, final pick is another Man United, and that is Martial. We spoke before. Fernandes and Martial are two top picks for Man United. I think Martial, if he continues that form from last season, is going to be a great asset. And Crystal Palace home, I think that's a good starting block for him. Yeah, I'm liking this team.
Looks good. So that's the fan favourites wrapped up. And now it's time to have a look at correct captain.
Correct captain.
It's time to pick who we think is the best captain option for this week. And we can't pick the same player. So I'm going to be delightfully kind to Callum and let you go first.
Mate, very, very kind. Yeah, you continue it from last season. I like this kindness. Right, so I think we spoke about it before. I really do like Aubameyang at home. I think after last week against Fulham, he showed that he's going to be clinical again. Home to West Ham, great fixture. We don't know what's going on at West Ham, and it's going to be a great opportunity for Aubameyang to capitalise. Aubameyang is my captain.
You bugger.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be yours, mate. But there's a few good options out there. I'm interested to see who you picked.
He would be my pick, but because you've gone for him, I'm going to go for Fernandes from Man United. Man United's first game back. Yes, I know Palace did quite well against Southampton, but Man United's a different kettle of fish. Yep. I think they'll be looking to really start strong. No concerns about Fernandes now. No. We know he's not quarantining. I think he's a pretty safe pick.
Mm-hmm. So, I really like that,
It is Palace they're playing, isn't
it?
Yes, yeah. So I think, Fernandes is a solid option as well.
Brilliant. So to summarise, Aubameyang for me, Conor has gone for Fernandes.
That draws an end to another episode of the FPL Fan Show. Yeah. What a banger.
Goodbye, social life. Hello, FPL.
We're back, boys.
So good to be back, isn't it? So be sure to let us know in the comments, what are your plans for Game Week 2? And be sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes.
Thanks for watching, guys. Oh, voice man. We'll see you next time. You would probably love that. Fucking hell, I've lost my voice. Oh god,
that's brilliant. How bad does it look on screen? Have you got the thing? Can I see what it looks like?